my name's Tracey and I'm here with Dee.
Hi.
Today we are doing first quarter. This is the third phase in the lunar cycle. You've done new moon and you're making your intentions, and you've done waxing crescent, which is when you're trying to fulfill all your intentions and you're busy and it's full steam ahead. And then we hit first quarter. First quarter is when you look in the sky and it's like a half moon. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit confusing because it's called first quarter, but actually when you look up it's a half moon. But it's called first quarter because it is the quarter stage of the whole cycle.
And it's not like a quarter, like on a pie chart.
No,
one quarter filled, is it?
It'd be a half moon if it was, So it could be known as a half moon as well if you look it up, but the actual lunar phase, they call it first quarter. And I notice it because usually for me, it's when something starts to go a little bit wrong. The key word for first quarter is obstacles. So you'll be full steam ahead, fulfilling your intentions, trying to achieve your goals.
All motivated and excited about your projects and stuff, right?
All ready to go. And then approximately 1 week after new moon, this will happen. Obstacles, maybe it's a time when things are starting to slow down, things are starting to, I don't want to say go wrong because it's not like Mercury in retrograde, but
unexpected things pop up, right?
Yeah, questions start to occur. You know, I compared new moon to New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I was thinking of first quarter and trying to relate it in a positive way, because obstacles and disruption and things going wrong aren't great words for it, but sometimes it can feel like that. I see it as a little lunch break. So you're working really hard and then first quarter comes and it's just time to stop and have a little rest and ask the questions and think about if you're going the right direction, if you're doing it right, it can be improved.
It's probably a bit like February in terms of time of the year, in that you had all of these New Year's resolutions and you're all like, this year's going to be different. And then February things start to like slow down a little bit, and you know, you haven't gone to the gym 3 times a week like you promised you would.
Yeah. And you're asking yourself, why? Were my goals realistic? Mm-hmm. Were the things that I'm trying to do achievable? Am I doing them right? Could I do them better? Especially with all projects, you know, you have a plan, but usually the result comes out different. But it's because it's meant to be that way, and the result turns out to be better. But that process is, you know, through thinking and learning and asking the questions and stopping for a second. And that's what first quarter's about. After first quarter, we will move on to waxing gibbous, where, again, you will continue with your projects, but more for a completion stage.
Can I just stop you there we need to address something, the white elephant. Gibbous is a funny word, isn't it?
It is. Did we say it right?
I think so, but every time, I don't know if it's because it sounds like gibbon,
yes,
but it just makes me chuckle every time.
I am awful with pronouncing words. You'll hear through this podcast, I pronounce words really strangely. My lapis, my Uranus, Uranus. Yeah, I just make it up as I go along. Another key word for first quarter is crisis. So all the words kind of associated,
I don't like that.
Obstacles and crisis are a little bit scary, aren't they?
Let's use a nicer word like resistance. That's not 100% nice, but
probably better. It's just a little bit of a wobbly phase. So I always find myself maybe querying things a little bit. Can I do it better? Am I doing it right? And it's not just me. Sometimes there's projects that you will be undergoing and someone will ask the questions to you, so it's not just yourself querying or feeling a bit wobbly, it's other people as well.
It sounds like it's a danger time for imposter syndrome.
Definitely.
Right?
If you ever needed to understand imposter syndrome, or if there was ever a time that you were going to feel it, first quarter might be the phase.
Right. Little tip on imposter syndrome: name it. Name that little negative voice in your head, give it a name, and have a debate with it. So when it pops in your head, this is something that Ariana Huffington Post, she named it her obnoxious roommate. We all know it, that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, you shouldn't be charging for this, you don't know what you're doing.
Voice, is
no,
it?
And it's the one that we hear most often. But if you name it and shut it down, then that can really help to identify it and to sort of work around it. But
so you once said to me, Dee, like you wouldn't let anyone else speak to you that way. So why do you speak to yourself that way?
Yeah, and you would never talk to a friend like that, would you?
No, exactly.
You'd never tell a friend, yeah, you fucked up, you made a big mistake. You know,
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you would offer them, if it was true that they had made a mistake, you would offer them solutions, and you would tell them, like, don't worry, everyone makes mistakes, this isn't that big a deal, we'll work around it, we'll figure it out. But we don't talk to ourselves like that, unfortunately, do we?
We're so hard on ourselves.
We go to instantly, oh wow, I'm a fucking idiot. Here I go again, being a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the point, to be like, that is my obnoxious roommate, or insert name here. I always tell everyone to talk to themselves how they would talk to their friends.
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's realistic as well.
That's not to say ignore problems, because you don't help your friends, hopefully, ignore a problem. You just think, right, okay, let's not focus on beating ourselves up about it. Let's just look at what solution is there. What should we do about it?
We're all human. We all do things wrong. No one's perfect. If we had a perfect life, we would never learn anything. Mainly mistakes that you learn from, and those mistakes happen so that you can do it better the next time. And that summarises first quarter, really. Asking yourself the questions, making the mistakes, maybe something will go wrong, and then you'll realise why. And then when you continue your project, I should point out this phase only lasts for like 2.5 days. When you continue on to the next phase, it will be better. It usually is, and you realise why you needed to slow down and take that break.
It's just a tweaking and adapting phase, isn't it? You know, rather than letting these obstacles defeat you.
Do you remember, Dee, when we recorded a podcast for your business, The Beauty of Our Dreams, and it was bonfire night?
Yes, and I don't know why we didn't think of it.
It was on the moon as well, and we were both not feeling it. We were both a little bit insecure and wobbly. I think we both talked ourselves into it would be okay. It was first quarter moon and we didn't check, and then all the fireworks started to go off. By stopping it and then waiting for this time to pass, it actually gave us more time to rethink, to do it at a better time, and it came up better.
And it meant that, because we did try to start recording, it meant we had a little bit of a practice.
Yeah, we did.
Which was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've got to just think of these obstacles or this resistance as a way to make you make the thing better.
I always see this phase as a good pit stop. It's a good lunch break to just have that wobble, ask the questions, reassess what you're doing, and then come out with an even better project at the end of it. So I've noted here that these challenges offer opportunity for growth, and they help us for the next phase, which is really like refinement, so we can anchor down and focus so we can do the next phase more efficiently. I've used horrible words or quite negative words, obstacles and crisis, and what was the one you mentioned? Resistance. And they're all a little bit like Mercury in retrograde, that kind of like, oh no, we're doomed. It's first quarter, like nothing is going to happen, it's all going to go wrong. But I was looking at like intentions you can set, maybe spells if you're into spells, or rituals you can do to try and get through first quarter. And the main theme of it is to stay positive. See it as a really positive thing of, oh, that's why that person's not allowing me to do this today, because I know that I'm going to do it better. So don't get down in the dumps about it.
I think it's always great to remember that this is a 2 or 3 day period. So
and it'll be over soon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not forever, it's just very temporary.
And at the time you may feel like your projects and the brakes are being put on it and it's not fair, or the person that's attacking it is unjust. You have to swallow it and know that that's not how it's meant to be. The universe has a different path for you, and the path is actually going to be better at the end of it. Sorry if that sounds a bit woo-woo, but by going through a really negative situation, if you can try and see a positive out of it, oh, that's not meant to be this way for me because ... it will help this phase refine even more.
Well, that's a good life mantra anyways, isn't it?
Is.
You know, when you have challenges,
I mean, as I'm
it's
saying
an opportunity
this,
to make it better.
So try and hold on. If you start to get really down in the dumps, then negativity kind of creeps in and it can make you feel really defeated.
Yeah.
And then the next phase, you're going to struggle. One of the things I noted to help you through to stay positive is draw upon things that you probably practice. Maybe it's your crystals, like you keep those around you. Maybe Dee's really into all of her essential oils, so have some really nice oils burning to keep you lifted at this time.
Can I just say,
self-care. If you've got objects that are special to you, really draw upon them, keep them close. You might have photos of your family. We all have rubbish days, but it's how we respond to them is what gets us through them. Also, journaling can help as well. You know, writing down what's happening, sometimes getting it on paper can make you see, I've said this before, you can't see the wood for the trees, so write it down, reread it, maybe the solutions will come. And meditate as well. Some people do some grounding meditation, bath meditation.
Because we always talk about a moon bath on the full moon, but actually it's quite nice at any phase, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've had a rough day on first quarter, if you've been climbing up that hill and you feel like the world is against you, it really isn't. It's just the universe saying you need to take a stop, refine, ask the questions, and then the next phase will be a lot easier on you. So do whatever you need to do to spoil yourself and maintain that positivity. I have noted as well on first quarter, Dee mentioned in our third episode, season 1, episode 3, we talked about the moon going through all the different houses, the zodiac signs. Yeah. So just to recap, the moon travels every 2 to 2.5 days, doesn't it, Dee, through all the different signs. And it's when it's in a particular sign, gives you a flavour of the energy of that moon. So first quarter, the moon will be in a house, it'll be in a zodiac sign. And if you really want to see the energy of the moon or the story of the page that's happening right now, have a look. You can check out on our website of what zodiac the moon's in, and it will tell you what obstacles, the theme, the story, the flavour, the energy will be. So again, I've got my list. I'll go through it really quickly. Aries,
you love a good list.
If the moon is in first quarter and it's in Aries house, there may be objects, people just standing in the way of your success and drive. Taurus, going to be money issues. Gemini, negative talk, gossip, just general miscommunications. Cancer, insecurities, really wobbly. Leo, irresponsibility. Virgo, loss of control. We all know Virgos love to have a list and be like in control and organised. Libra is going to be maybe something to do with relationship and love. Scorpio, communication issues. Sagittarius, something to do with your location or travel. Maybe you're trying to get to work and the train's delayed. Capricorn, work issues, professional issues, anything to do with your working life. Aquarius, social issues, friendship issues, that kind of interaction. And Pisces, emotional issues. First quarter in Pisces. That is first quarter. I'd love to hear your first quarter stories.
Because always.
This may sound, again, woo-woo. You think, how can the moon cause disruption? How can the moon make something stop or go wrong? But once you start to notice it, you will see that first quarter does have an impact on the energy of your drive, that you're working so hard to this point, and then you do have to stop. I also found something different. I'm going a bit off grid here.
Oh, we love a sidebar.
So first quarter, still trying to stay positive about it. There's also a time when the moon goes void of course. They say when it's void of course that you should stop. Don't do anything that uses the brain. Don't do any new deals. Don't start anything new. Don't hold any meetings. Don't do spells. Don't make any purchases. There's a big list of don'ts when the moon
just don't. Just stay on your sofa. It sounds like and watch Netflix.
Your sofa. Exactly.
Yeah. Play with your dog.
So what happens is, and I briefly mentioned that the moon transitions between the different zodiac signs, but as it leaves one sign and then it enters another sign, there can be a delay, where it's a kind of a grey area. So it's leaving the old energy behind, say it was in Sagittarius, and it's due to go into its next sign. But before it transitions into the next sign, it's kind of in the middle. It needs to slowly let go of the old energy and welcome in the new. I see it kind of like turning the page of a book. There's a little period in between of page turning, and that's when the moon is void of course. It happens a lot. The moon transitions signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So it goes void of course approximately every 2 to 2.5 days.
And how long does it last?
So it can last from seconds to a day.
Oh, that's a lot though. If it's
is. Most of the times that it does this is like at night time, but there can be a few occasions when there's a really significant void of course. I think it was the 10th of May 2013. It did it for a whole day. I don't worry about it too much, but I just wanted to mention it because we're talking about first quarter and obstacles, and void of course kind of has that same flavour. It happens so much that I don't think we can let it rule our lives. But what I would say is that if you're doing something big in your life, getting married, signing a contract, maybe you've got if you do spell work, there's lots of different things. Maybe just check if it's a significant thing that you're doing, check if the moon is void of course for that day. So I mentioned all the things that you shouldn't do when it's a void of course, but you can do things as well. So
we just said Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
Play with the dog.
I like this list actually, Dee. It's a good one. So when the moon is void of course, it's a good time for prayer and meditation, sleep and dreams, non-material matters. This is a really good one. So it's kind of flipping the switch of being positive against a really negative thing. When the moon is void of course, it's a good time to end a relationship or get divorced.
Okay, great. I feel like if I told my ex-husband while we were going through divorce that I needed to time it with a void of course, that he would have sped up the process.
You know, anything that you want to end, do on the void of course.
Oh, interesting.
Just don't start anything. Letting someone start proceedings against you. So anything you want to fail.
But how do you get them? Not that I have loads of people with proceedings against me in court, but like how would you manipulate the situation so they start it on a void of course? That's a tough one. Send us in any answers you might have.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully that will never happen, but I thought it was a really interesting thing that the moon does. So that explains void of course. And I also, how's your French, Dee?
Fluent.
Oh good.
I'm half Belgian, remember?
Oh, that's good.
But Flemish Belgian. For those that listening, some will know that matters.
As we know, I'm going really off grid here now.
Yeah, but I want you to speak in French because I think that would be more fun.
Maybe we can have a French lesson. So as we know, the moon has ruling days as well. We've not talked about this, but when I was looking up first quarter and all the interesting stuff that I found that the planets and the moon and the sun also have ruling days. So, and a lot of it goes on the French. If you look at Sunday, you see the sun's ruling day, Sunday. Monday is the mun, as in moon.
Yeah.
But actually, the French word for Monday is lundi, lunar.
Oh, but is that why we translated it to Monday, though?
Yeah, that's why it's called Monday. And the French days of the week are all, if you listen to them, they're all related to the planets and the moon. So lundi is lunar, mardi is Mars.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking, how is that?
Mercredi, which is French for Wednesday, is Mercury's ruling day. Jeudi is Jupiter. Vendredi. Can you guess what Vendredi is? Venus, yeah. I just wanted to add that as a little trinket to the end of what feels like it was a bit of a negative episode. I'm sorry, everyone. But isn't that interesting that the moon's day is Monday, Lundi?
That's so interesting. And obviously month is also, it comes from moon.
So Monday is the moon's day.
So let's start celebrating Mondays because it's Moon Day.
Yes, it's
for our moon pies.
Moon, exactly. Yeah. So I hope everyone's enjoyed my episode today on first quarter.
I would like to give a shout out to our co-hosts today because you might have heard them at some point. Little tails wagging and licking of legs and toes.
Yes, if you hear strange panting noises as well.
But we've got Georgie and Charlie with us in the garden.
Yeah, they're with me today. Georgie snuggled up on my knee.
Yeah.
And also the bird song as well, Dee, we've got in the background.
Which let's just claim is not annoying and is lovely because it's nature.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you for listening, everyone. Check out this phase on our website. We have a whole section on the moon's phase in first quarter, which we will add to. Love to hear your stories of maybe little bumps in the road that have happened along the way. Our next episode will be Waxing Gibbous, hosted by Dee, which is a bit more of a positive episode as we move through the moon's phase.
You haven't heard it yet.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
It's where I talk about death and murder.
Oh, lovely.
That's not true.
In a positive way, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed that and you want more from us, why don't you head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/We Knew the Moon, and check out some bonus content.
Also, if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on our Facebook page at we.new.the.moon. If you could leave us a review on our Facebook page,